application subject. So I am going to start with the third model, that is induction motor drives. So day to day in our life, the load or the motors that we use are mainly induction motors. So that normally what is meant by drive? Can anybody say what is meant by drives? Anyone? What is meant by drives? Okay, drives are nothing but the devices which works on mainly on the motion control. So these motion controlled devices are nothing but called as machines, are nothing but called as drives. So wherever you can go to the industries and wherever the different applications are there, no. So there we are going to witness some of the machines which are generally controlled through our motions. Motion is nothing but a period of movement with respect to a time, a movement with respect to a particular time. So that can be called as a motion. So the different devices which are mainly controlled, which are mainly worked upon the motion control, so called as drives. So in our life, the drives are mainly on induction motors. So the induction motors are the main motor or the application of in induction motor is the constant speed motors. So these induction motors are nothing but a constant speed motors. So where at certain applications we need some constant speed, the motion of the rotation will be of a constant speed. So at that time, at that places we use constant speed motors, nothing but the induction motors. And some other places are there where we are using variable speed motors. So these variable speed motors are nothing but our DC motors. So these are drives, the drives which are controlled through the DC motors are nothing but DC drives. So these DC motor controlled drives would be used in variable speed motors. And the availability of thyristors, the power. So these drives are nothing but the applications of our power electronics. So here we are using the application of power electronics as a drives. So the power electronic equipments, mainly thyristors, gate thyristor operator GTOs, and IGBTs, MOSFETs, these are the devices which mainly uses for the variable speed drives. So here what actually they are doing, we, as I already told, the induction motors are the constant speed motors, but with the help of the power electronic devices, we are making the induction motor into variable constant speed motors. So for the purpose of using our induction motor as the constant speed induction motor as a variable speed induction motor drives, we are using our different power electronic equipments. So the power electronic equipments are our IGBT, MOSFETs, drives. So our different power electronic equipments are our IGBTs, GTOs, and okay. Oh. So that's why we are using induction motors as a variable constant speed induction motors. And the main drawback of our using DC motors are commutators. The presence of commutators and brushes. So what is meant by commutator? So in the motors, we come across the while we can studying the construction of a DC motors, we come across the commutators and brushes. So mainly the commutators. Can anyone say? Can anyone tell me what is meant by commutator and brushes? Can anyone? If people studied the motors subject in your lower semesters, so can anyone able to say what is meant by commutator and brushes? Working of brushes. Anything related to that? So the commutators are nothing but they are connected at the shaft side around the brushes. So which are mainly used for the purpose of converting the AC signals into DC signals, AC electric current into DC electric current. So for that purpose, we are using commutators. So brushes are also nothing but they are connected at the poles. So these brushes mainly use it for the drawing of current. They draws the current from the poles, and which are made up of normally carbon. So carbon brushes. Normally the word carbon is there. So normally brushes are nothing called as a carbon brushes. So these are mainly used for the purpose of drawing the current, and commutator is for the purpose of converting the AC signals into DC signals. So that's why we are using the commutator and brushes. So this is the main drawback for the DC motors, and these are very sensible equipments. So DC motors are the DC motor drives are the sensible equipments. So we can't use DC motor drives at explosive, which are exposed to the atmosphere. So for that purpose, the variable speed induction motors drives, that is induction motor drives, are expensive, little bit expensive, and when compared to the DC motors drives. And normally these are used in cranes, conveyors, and some blower units, and some different places where actually maintenance is not much required. So at that places we can use induction motor drives. So this is about a brief introduction about the comparison with respect to DC motor drives and induction motors drives. So one thing you people need to remember here is induction motors are constant speed motors, but with the help of our Polytronics devices, we are making it into variable speed constant drive motors. So that's what we need to remember here. And for our analysis purpose, and today's topic is about analysis and performance of three-phase induction motors. So the analysis and performance is mainly I'm going to deal with the speed nature, the speed of the rotor of the machine, and torque, and with respect to the rotor current, how actually our induction motor is performing for different speeds and for different torque and rotor currents. So that's the main motto of today's session. That's the analysis of our induction motor for the variable speed and at the variable and constant rotor current and torque of the machine. So for that purpose, I'm going to start with the equivalent circuit of our induction motor. So I hope you studied this in your lower semester while studying the induction motor generator chapters. So the mainly the okay, here I'm drawn for the stator dependent equivalent circuit. Stator dependent. So normally the three-phase induction motors can be divided into two types, that is squirrel cage induction motors and wound rotor motors. So squirrel cage induction motors are nothing but where the conductor bars, the longitudinal conductor bars shorted by circular connectors at two ends. So here the conductor bars, the wounded conductor bars are in the squirrel cage induction motor. Wound motor balanced three-phase having same poles. So here in the motor are equal in stator. So that is the main advantage of induction motor. So this having a balanced and having the same poles as curved. So while solving the problem also, they not mention about the number of poles. If they mention only stator poles, that normally equals to the rotor poles. So that's the piece that actually people remembered already, studied that the number of poles equal in stator as in a wound. So here the three-phase equivalent circuit of a three-phase induction motor is drawn with respect to stator referred. So we can draw the equivalent circuits of any kind of motors based upon the two types. here in a three-phase induction motor, that is one type is stator referred, and another thing is the rotor referred. So I have drawn here with respect to the stator. So here RS and XS are the stator resistance and actually the stator rotor resistance and reactance. So this is the stator resistance and this is the stator reactance, and this is the stator referred rotor reactance, and this is the stator referred rotor resistance. This is resistance, that is reactance. Here both are same. Both the circuits are same. So here I have taken RS and XS are nothing but stator resistance, stator reactance. XR dash and RR dash by S. XR dash and RR dash by S. And this is also XR dash. I have written XS dash here. So this is also XR dash and RR dash by S. These are the stator referred rotor resistance, stator referred reactance, rotor reactance. So this is the nomenclature of our equivalent circuit of the, and IS is the stator current, IR dash is the stator referred rotor current, stator referred rotor current, IS, XR, IR dash and IM. So this is about the circuit analysis. So I have just applying the Ohm's law into the circuit. So if you are going to study the circuits, if you are going to study any kind of circuits, first and foremost thing, you have to know how to apply the Ohm's law into the circuit. Ohm's law is the basic for the analysis of any kind of circuits. You can take any kind of complicated circuits, just apply the Ohm's law to the circuit. Finish it. Just enough. So this should be a basic and easy to analyze any kind of circuits. So again, I am going to apply Ohm's law into the circuit. So here RR dash and XR dash are the, okay, as I told, the stator referred values of rotor resistance and RR XR rotor reactance. So here before going to apply for the Ohm's law, just have the equation of a slip. So for any kind of slip, the slip is very much essential for the rotation of our motor. Slip is kind of a parameter, so which should be always less than 1. Slip should be always less than 1, and if the slip is 0, if the slip is 1, then the automatically any kind of motors you can take, they rotate at the synchronous speed. If the motors are not rotating at the synchronous speed, then there would be a concept of slip. So here I am applying into our circuit. The slip S is defined as omega ms minus omega m by omega ms. So omega ms is the synchronous speed, just like ns. So you know the formula, that is ns equals to 120f by p. Synchronous in the synchronous machine. So in the synchronous machine, ns equals to 120f by p. So S is the ns minus n by ns. So similarly here in the induction motor, S is equals to omega ms minus omega m by omega ms. Omega ms. So as I already told, I am going to draw the speed characteristics, speed and torque performance analysis. So for the going into the torque, I need slip. Going to analyze for the torque, I need slip, I need the synchronous speed. So for analyzing of the torque, first we have to study the slip and synchronous machine, synchronous speed. So omega ms is the synchronous speed and omega m is the rotor speed. Rotor speed. This is also synchronous speed with respect to the rotor. Omega ms is the synchronous speed with respect to the rotor, and here the synchronous speed of the rotor is calculated by using the equation 4 pi f by p. Ns equals to 120f by p, as we studied in our synchronous machine. So here omega ms equals to 4f pi by p. F is the frequency, p is the number of poles of the induction, number of poles at the rotor of the induction motor. So you know the units, radians per second. F frequency. Okay, the stator impedance drop is generally negligible compared to the terminal voltage V. Here, this is the terminal voltage V, and this is the terminal voltage V. Here, the impedance drop in the terminal voltage, the impedance drop is negligible. Impedance drop. So the drop is nothing but it's the product of voltage into current. So drop is nothing but the voltage into current. So here what they are doing, they are just neglecting the impedance drop. Impedance drop. From this circuit, they are just neglecting the impedance drop. So if we are going to neglect the impedance drop, then the equivalent circuit is modified into this B, into B after neglecting the impedance drop. Okay, I think till now the concept is clear to all of you. I am just taken the equivalent circuit. I am just drawing the slip and the slip equations. First step is drawing the slip equations. Okay, and just neglected the impedance drop for the purpose of analyzing the stator dependent rotor current. So for that purpose, I'm just neglecting the impedance drop here. And okay, same from this slip equation, from the equation 1, I am just instead of calculating the slip, I am just taking the rotor speed. Omega m is equals to omega ms into s plus omega ms. Omega m is equals to omega ms into s plus minus omega ms. So I have taken the omega ms common here. Omega ms common, then omega m is equals to omega ms of 1 minus s. Same equation 1 is written in second. Omega equation 1 is can be written in third equation. So from the figure B, now I am going to derive the stator dependent rotor current, IR dash. Stator dependent rotor current, IR dash. So now I am going to apply Ohm's law into the circuit. So according to Ohm's law, so I is equals to V by R. According to Ohm's law, I is equals to V by R. So now just take the voltage parameter. I have written V. And just applying IR dash is equals to V by remaining resistance, that is the impedance. So RS plus RR dash by S, and this is in a complex form, that's why I have taken C here. RS plus XS dash and RS plus RR dash by S, XS plus XS dash by S. When I am just applying Ohm's law into the figure B. The B here IR dash. So the current flowing is your IR dash. IR dash. So IR dash is equals to V divided by RS plus RR dash by S plus J of the reactants are nothing but a complex things. So just taking the J in common. So here instead of writing Z is equals to RS plus JXS, so we know that impedance is the combination of resistance plus reactance. So impedance is nothing but combination of resistance plus reactance. RS plus JXS is equal to ZS. So taking the Z common, so taking the J common, J of XX plus XX dash. So same thing I have written here. Nothing miracle. XX plus XR dash. Okay. And the next step is power transfer. We have to calculate the torque. Actually, we have to calculate the torque, but the torque is nothing but the power divided by the speed. So in order to calculate the power, we are drawing the current. We are calculating the current, and next the next step is the power. So our main motto is to find the build the characteristics of speed and torque, speed and rotor, that is IR dash current. So in order to calculate the torque, we need speed, power. So can anyone able to tell what is meant by torque? Can anyone, what is meant by torque? Torque of a machine. Anyone? Torque. Okay. Torque. Can anyone torque? So in physics, according to physics, the torque is nothing but the force into perpendicular distance. Any force that you are applying to the particular device and the distance with respect to the force direction. If you are, this is the device, this is the face, the place where you are going to apply the force. So here the force and into perpendicular distance. This perpendicular distance is nothing but called as torque according to physics. So this is the unit according to same as force. We know the unit is Newton. So similarly, for the torque is also having the unit called as Newton meter, force into perpendicular distance. So apart from that, here the torque is nothing but the power with respect to the changes in speed. The power with respect to changes in the speed. So for the understanding of power, here I am going to consider two powers. One is electrical power and another one is the mechanical power. Electrical power and mechanical power. So electrical power is nothing but the mechanical power plus losses. Electrical power is nothing but the mechanical power plus losses. So here PG is nothing but the power developed at the rotor. Power developed at the rotor, that is nothing but our electrical power. So again apply Ohm's law. So according to Ohm's law, the power is equals to I square R. So Ohm's law can be applied into three ways. One is I is equals to V by R. P is, that is the common thing. So when applied in terms of power, so Ohm's law with respect to the power, P is equal to I square R, V square by R. So you can use I square R or V square divided by R. So I am using I square R. So same I square R. So 3 is nothing but here for 3 phase. So PC is equals to 3 IR dash. The current is the stator dependent rotor current. I am analyzing the circuit with respect to the stator dependent rotor circuit. So the current is also stator dependent rotor current and stator dependent rotor resistance. So 3 into I square R. Then mechanical power. So the mechanical power is equals to electrical power minus losses. So the losses are in the rotating machines. In the rotating machines, the losses. There are two kind of losses. One is variable losses and another is the constant losses. So constant losses are dependent upon the iron losses, and the variable losses depends upon the current losses and nothing but the copper losses. So these are the variable losses. I hope you studied the different kind of losses that we can observe in our machines, variable losses and constant losses. So I am just considering here the variable losses, that is copper loss. Copper loss is equal to I square R loss. Okay, copper loss can also be called as I square R loss. So same thing, I am referring with respect to the rotor, 3 I square R, 3 IR dash square into RR dash. So just substituting all those things into one particular equation. So I am considering for mechanical power. So mechanical power is equals to electrical power plus losses. Okay, sorry, electrical power minus losses. Electrical power is equal to mechanical power plus losses, but mechanical power is equal to electrical power minus losses. So just substituting here. Just substituted equation 5 and 7 here. 3 IR dash square RR dash 1 minus S by S. So this is our equation for power, PM, that is the mechanical losses. So our main equation comes here, that is torque. So as I already told, the torque is nothing but the power at which we drawn at the particular speed, that is at rotating speed. The power which is drawn at the particular speed is called as the torque of the machine. But according to physics, torque is nothing but the force into perpendicular distance. So here T is equals to Pm by omega m. Pm, that's why I have calculated the Pm here. Substitute here. 3 IR dash square RR dash divided by S divided by omega ms. Same thing. Nothing new comes here. Nothing new. T is equals to 3. T is equals to Pm by omega m. Pm is 3 IR dash square RR dash 3 IR dash square RR dash into, okay, here I have omega m. The same omega m can be written using this equation, omega ms into 1 minus s. So just I have substituted omega m instead of omega m, omega ms into 1 minus s. So that 1 minus s and this 1 minus s gets cancelled. This 1 minus s and this omega ms 1 minus s gets cancelled. The remaining thing is s. So this is the equation for torque. So the same torque, instead of using IR dash equation, IR dash, I am just substituting the IR dash here. The same IR dash, V divided by RS plus RR dash by S plus J into XS plus XR dash. That I am substituting in place of IR dash here. 3 by omega ms V square divided by RS plus RR dash by S plus JXS plus XR dash by S. So just substituted here. So now just compare this with respect to equation 5. So you people can come to a conclusion. Just compare this, this equation 5 with 9. Equation 5 with 9. So one thing we can observe here is 3 IR dash square RR dash by S. If you send omega ms here, omega ms into T is equals to Pg. So same thing, 3 IR dash square RR dash by S. Only thing is omega ms, just send it here. So what you got? T is equals to Pg is equals to omega ms into T. Pg Vg is equals to Pg is equals to omega ms into T. So same thing, T is equals to Pg by omega ms. T is equal to Pg by omega ms. T is equals to Pg by omega ms. So here the motor output torque, T is the motor output torque at the shaft, and it is obtained by the friction windage loss and the core losses torques from the developed torque. And the developed torque is a function of a slip. So what does that mean? The slip is mainly dependent upon the development of the torque, and that we can calculate it by using the differentiating T. Just differentiating this T. Just differentiate this with respect to T and equates to 0. Then what we get? Then Sm is equals to plus or minus RR dash by S square root of RS square plus XS plus XR dash whole square. Just differentiating T with respect to S. dt by ds is equals to Sm. dt by ds is equals to Sm. Then what we got? 3 is the constant. So constant is kept away. Then S is there. S is differentiation of S with respect to S is 1. Then RR dash. V is also constant. Just remove it. So RR dash divided by square root of RS square plus XS plus XR dash whole square. And then substituting this 12 in 10. Substituting this Sm in 10. So what we can get at the end, T max is equals to 3 divided by omega ms v square divided by rs plus r minus j, sorry, root of rs square plus of xs plus xr dash whole square. So this is the one standard equation that we derive. T max, the maximum torque that we develop. So this maximum torque is also known as a breakdown torque. We need this breakdown torque while analyzing the characteristics. So we derived the maximum torque, that is nothing but the breakdown torque, and it is mainly independent with respect to the rotor resistance. This breakdown torque is independent of rotor resistance, that is RR. You can observe here, there is no RR here. There is no RR term. That means the rotor resistance, the changes in the rotor resistance does not affect the breakdown torque. That's why I have mentioned the term here. It's independent of rotor resistance. And the slip Sm is directly proportional to the rotor resistance. You can observe here. The Sm is directly proportional to the rotor resistance, stator dependent rotor resistance. So whenever the Sm increases, so Sm is increases only when the RR dash is increases. So Sm is going to decrease when RR dash is going to decrease. So that's why the Sm is directly proportional to RR dash. That is, rotor resistance is mainly dependent upon only slip, but the rotor resistance is not dependent upon the torque of the machine. That is Tmax. Tmax is independent of rotor resistance, but it's dependent only with respect to Sm. That's the concept that we have in our mind till now. The next thing is the actual heart of the topic, that is speed characteristics, speed torque and speed rotor current characteristics. Speed torque and speed rotor characteristics. That's what we are going to draw here. This is the speed torque and speed rotor current. Omega m is the speed torque Tr and speed rotor current Ir. So actually we are going to analyze this. How actually our machine, our drives, our induction drives is called as variable speed dependent machine drive. While in the introduction I have told that induction motors are constant drives and DC motors are variable speed drives, but with the help of parallel drawing devices we are converting our induction motors drives into variable speed constant drives. How? That's what for that purpose only we are just drawing the characteristics here. Both rotor current and torques are 0. So first thing what we are going to analyze here is both rotor current. Rotor current is IR and the torque, that is T. Both rotor current and torque are 0. This is the 0 value at synchronous speed. That is called omega S. So at synchronous speed, both torque and rotor current is 0. This is the first point. People need to remember. So with decrease in speed, just look at the cursor here. With decrease in speed, both increases. with the decrease in speed, both increases. That is, both the values of, that is torque and IR values are increases, while the torque is reduces after reaching the breakdown point. This is the Tmax. This is the point that we already, so just now we are mathematically derived. That is the Tmax. Okay, that is the point Tmax. So with the decrease in speed, both the torque and current are going to increase, and while the torque is, see here this point, while the torque is reduces after reaching the maximum breakdown value. So I have told that the maximum torque is also known as a breakdown torque, and this breakdown torque, breakdown value is, after reaching this breakdown value, the torque is decreases. Just look at here. At this point, after reaching this point, the torque is going to decrease, but the current is still goes on increases. This rotor current is goes on increases. Goes on increases, and drop in speed is from no load to full load. The drop in speed from no load to full load. The drop is speed from no load to full load depends mainly on the rotor resistance. So that's what I have already told. SM is directly proportional to the rotor resistance. So SM is nothing but the slip. The slip is mainly dependent upon the speed. The speed is nothing but the speed from no load to full load. So the SM directly proportional to rotor resistance, but SM is directly proportional to our speed. So the speed, when the speed is reduces from no load to full load, this mainly depends upon the rotor resistance. And when the rotor resistance is low, so when the rotor resistance is low, the drop speed is small. The drop in speed from no load to full load is small. And the constant speed, the breakdown torque is a measure of short-term torque overload capability of the motor. So this breakdown torque. So this breakdown torque. So this breakdown torque is there now. This breakdown torque is what it means. It's a measure of short-time torque. The breakdown torque is the short-time torque developed by the capability of the motor. It is the capability of the motor. This point is the capability of the motor. And this motor mainly runs in the direction of rotating field. The direction of rotating field. As we know that the motor, the normally starts rotating after starting the rotating, it mainly run at the direction of the rotation of the field. And here we need to analyze for the ratios of Tmax divided by T divided by Tmax. So we know the equation of T and we know the equation of Tmax, that is from 13 and 12. Here this is the Tmax and this is the 11. Okay. We are just dividing the T by Tmax. We are just dividing the T by Tmax. Then we got this equation. 2 of 1 plus. So here one more thing we need to understand here is this equation, that is Rs by Rr dash Sm. Rs by Rr dash Sm is very less, which is less than 1. Which is very less than 1. So for that analysis purpose, we are just neglecting this term. We are just neglecting Rs by Rr dash into Sm. So what happens to the equation, that is, I have written here, T by Tmax is equals to 2 into 1 plus 0. Neglecting means 0. So S by Sm and Sm by S. S by Sm and Sm by S. So for slips smaller than Sm, The equation holds good for slips smaller than Sm and for the slips larger than Sm. Here we need to consider, here we need to analyze the characteristic equation based upon the slips, whether which are less than the Sm and which are greater than the Sm. So here for the slips smaller than the Sm and for the slips larger than the Sm. So this is the characteristics that we are drawn. So what we understood from this, characteristics is that both the torque and the current, the rotor current are zero at the synchronous speed. Both torque and the current are zero at the synchronous speed. So with the decrease in speed, the torque and the current values goes on increases. This is the second point. And the third point is the torque goes on increases till it reaches to the maximum point. That is the maximum torque, nothing but the breakdown torque. After reaching the breakdown torque, the torque goes on start decreasing. And the next thing is the speed. The rotor current is mainly dependent upon the speed. The drop in speed from no load to full load. The drop in speed from no load to full load is mainly dependent upon the rotor resistance. So this is the maximum capability of our torque. So with the help of this analysis, we can choose our drives. So which are mainly required for the what kind of the drives which are mainly dependent upon the maximum torque and which are not much efficient for the devices after reaching the maximum torque. So like that we need to choose. So this S by Sm. So this S by Sm is for the slips smaller than Sm, and this Sm by S is for the slips larger than the Sm. So for the torque, the speed torque relationships from 0 to the rated torque is 0 to the rated torque. From 0 to the rated torque is drawn as a straight line. So normally almost equals to the straight line, which is drawn as a straight line. So for the slips much larger than the Sm, these are the okay. And the final thing that we need to understand from is this equation. So this is our final equation for the speed torque and speed rotor current characteristics. So here we just removed this Rs by Rr dash Sm, which is very much negligible compared to 1, which is very much less than 1. So for that purpose we have just removed that. And from this equation we come to the conclusion that for the slips which are smaller than the Sm, this is the first term dominates. This term dominates. And when for the slips which are larger than the Sm, this term dominates. So this is the analysis and performance of our 3-phase induction motor. So this is enough for today, and we will discuss the remaining things in the next session. So till now, if you have any doubts or any queries, please do ask. I hope you well got the ideas. I hope you people are able to understand what I am teaching. ನಿಮಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾನು ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. So if you have any doubts, please stop at where point you are not understanding.